I'll be speaking with Dan Tsahor, who's a doctoral student in Jewish history at NYU, formerly with Combatants for Peace and a refusenik. We're talking right in the middle of the Israeli rampage in Gaza. So what do you hear? What do you think?
Well, it's certainly a difficult time. Israel is conducting those terrible operations every other year. But this time there's something different. There's something, although many people died before in 2008 and even 2 years ago in 2012. But still, something is terrible going on now in the streets of Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. It's very hard to speak out against what's going on in Gaza. I think in the past, the voice, the demonstrations in Tel Aviv and in Jerusalem had some effect. I'm not saying that they stopped the rampage, but they did have some effect, but now it's impossible to do that.
We've seen pictures of mobs threatening leftists, saying death to leftists and so on.
Yeah, that's, well, I'm here currently, but that's what you get when you read the newspapers from Israel, when you read the websites, when you read blogs. It's really difficult.
How would you comment in the New Haven Register this morning? They have a big article, a synagogue sent some people over to Israel, and they come back all inspired and well, we're here at a time Israel's threatened, but its very existence is threatened, and we were there to witness that. I mean, as an Israeli, how do you respond to something?
Well, I get the same responses by Israelis. I just met a group of Israelis here in New Haven, and they use those rational, quote unquote, kind of explanations to explain why Israel is in Gaza right now. They're saying that we have to demolish the tunnels and the missiles and so on and so forth. But then I asked them that simple question: what will happen 6 months from now, when there will certainly be more tunnels and missiles, and there's no way to stop those. To stop the Hamas to get weapons all of a sudden again. So those rational explanations collapse. There's no way to use them when one wants to explain why Israel is doing whatever they're doing over there.
Now, you mentioned you were a refusenik. Could you explain what that means?
Well, during the Second Intifada movement of reserve soldiers organized and decided that we no longer want to serve in the occupied territories. The idea was to adopt what Professor Yeshayahu Leibovich, who was a famous philosopher, said, that if we'll have 500, 600 people that will refuse, then everything will collapse. Okay, the occupation will no longer sustain. But then we got 600 people who signed the petition and refused, and when I served my time in jail, we were a group of 15, maybe 20 refuseniks. But the army did not collapse, and the occupation is still going on. And I'm sad to say that it was maybe a political protest, but it did not stop the occupation. The refusenik movement is now much smaller, but still, if you go to the military jail now, you'll see 2 or 3 guys who served their time there. One of them is an ultra-Orthodox 18-year-old guy. He's not a reserve soldier, and he's a hero.
What's his name?
I forgot his name but I went to Israel for a visit, and we stayed outside of the recruiting base. And he's now, I think, in his 5th month there. So it's much smaller right now, but still you'll find a soldier all of the time.
I don't want to keep you much longer, but if you were able to get on the biggest Israeli TV and you had a soundbite, you had 30 seconds to say anything you wanted to the Israeli, basically Jewish public, what would you say?
Well, I might have tried to bring Tamara. Tamara, say hi to the camera.
Hello.
And tell them that when I was that age, my mom promised me that there won't be any longer, they won't need me at the military when I'll be 18 years old. But still, no one managed to break that cycle of violence, and I think this is the time to do that. The only way to stop it is just by talking to the Hamas. There are normal people over there in Gaza who wants peace exactly like I want, who has children by the same age as Tamara, and all they want is to have a normal life. We have to talk. That's what we need to do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.